Right, this is Ash from Crack Minis, and today I'm going to be making something proper okay for a mate of mine. He wants to crump some beakies, so see what we do. So let's start with what he's given us. He's given us this Taurox Prime. He's given me way too many parts. I don't need any of the internals, because you know how AWAAGH stuff works. You just throw some screws in there, a couple bolts, some nuts, and maybe a loose bullet. Close it up, and everything runs perfect. And if anyone in the comments says that's not how AWAAGHs work, you're wrong. But also right, because that's how AWAAGHs work. And I'll explain to you why in a minute. Or probably 10. Depends how long the video is and where I can fit it in. When I started this, I didn't really know where to begin, so I just started gluing things together. And my mate wasn't really of much help when it comes to what he wanted. He just said he wanted it yellow, blue, red, and maybe some black and white check patterns. So I'm there thinking he wants it to be dead explodey, super fast, and hard as nails. And a little bit lucky. Okay. I can do that. This is about as much of the kit that I'm putting together as it's supposed to be put together. The rest is all going to be... well, I'm going to take some liberties. Let's start with the wheels. I didn't want to use the tracks because I hated them. So I threw on some toy wheels that I'm going to make orky in a little bit. And let's deal with this back door. Now, I figured because orcs are a little bit bigger than humies, they'd need a slightly bigger entrance to the back of the truck. So I chopped the top off of that, pull it all off. I found those, like, the front ends of missiles, and decided they'd look all nice and spiky on the sides. So I stuck them on. Now it's time to add some DAKKA. Now I don't want to put too much on because I don't want it looking like the orc who rides this thing is overcompensating for something. So I decided, obviously I was going to have a turret on the top. So I only put a couple gatlings at the front, just under those slits. Now it's time to work on what you can see of the engine, which is the intake. And I thought, you know what, we'll go over the top, we'll make it too big. That thing is a yacht from a Kinder Egg. I love Kinder Eggs. So much great little bits inside. Some may call them choking hazards. And for the intake pipes, I use those nailed screw holes that you push into plastic. And someone's told me the name of these on another video, and I can't remember which video it is, so I can't find what they're supposed to be called. So we're just going to go nailed screw holes. That'll do. Also, if you've made it this far, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, thank you. I stuck a plate on top of it, a little piece of plastic card, just to hide that hole that was there, and stuck a little grey piece of plastic that I found on top of that. I don't know what it's called, it's just a grey little piece of plastic, just to add some more detail. This is what happens when you take a 10-minute break, so you have something to eat. You lose your place and your rhythm, and now I've got to find it again. And that pretty much brings us to the orcification process. Orcification, sounds about right. I'm orcifying it. I'm making it dead orky. And to do that, I'm going to be sticking plates on there, random plates of metal, all over the place. Well, mostly just to cover the holes. I didn't want to go too heavy on the plates, although I know they sell the thing, but if you actually look at anything that's supposed to be orky, built by GW, there actually isn't that many different plates on it. A few of them do have quite a lot, but most of them try and keep it simple. Make sure there's a lot of like frayed edges to the steel and things like that. So overall, less is more? That was a question, I don't know. I decided the bull bars weren't going hard enough. So I needed to add a bit more defense to that front. I used some, you know, the square bases you get on some models. Why I stopped to say some models. Anyway, so the square bases you get on a few models like cavalry and things like that, I just bent and twisted them a bit so they had like a little bit of a curve, and cut them to shape and glued them onto the front of the bull bars. I mean, there's some interconnecting plates there as well. The plastic on him is quite thick, so it went for the vibe I was going for. And then I got started on the turret. See, personally I wouldn't have put a turret on this. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't look bad. I just don't like the silhouette after adding the turret on. Maybe if the vehicle was larger, then it'd make more sense. But because the Taurox Prime isn't the biggest of vehicles that you can buy, it just doesn't fit properly with anything I could come up with. And it took me about 5 or 6 versions to get to this, which is gluing stuff and breaking things and gluing more stuff on and hoping for the best. Like I said, not 100% happy with it. It looks okay. My mate wanted a turret for the thing, and sometimes you've just got to sacrifice for the benefit of others. So yeah, in the thumbnail and the showcase, you ain't gonna see it. Say showcase, the spinny bit. I don't even think I recorded myself painting it. It's been like 2 weeks. I was so busy, and obviously, as you can see, I stuck a spike down the bottom of it so that I could put it in something and have it spin. I used one of those nailed plastic pieces. I did a proper hack job trying to find the right positioning for this, but the good thing is, because it's alt, you don't even notice. Well, I don't even notice. Someone else might. It's not going to be me. Okay, so I got that all sorted off camera, and started working on the back. Now, because I had it open, I hadn't used any internals really. I didn't want it being seen, and I decided the best thing to do was to make it like a covered wagon style thing. And to do that, first I bent and twisted some wires to shape and plopped them along where I thought they would go if it was an actual thing for the model, and glued them in place. Ignore the random pipe in the back seat. That's going to go as is the big barrel on the turret. I didn't like the way they looked. But this is when I realised that the Gatlings looked like they were just magically appearing out of plates of metal. And now, orcs may be latent psychers, but they ain't wizards. So I need to hide that. And to hide it, I'm going to use plastic card, and I'm just going to stick it around here and make it look like it's right. I found a random extra exhaust in my bits box, so I stuck it on there, because you can't go wrong with an extra exhaust. Wish I had 2 of them though, to be fair. Now I'm going to orc up the wheels. Now this is pretty easy. All I did with orc wheels, because they're so easy to build, is I glued some EVA foam on them. Then I stuck some gems on there as well, with rivets. Because I figured orc wheels look better when they're just slapped together. As long as you paint them rusty and crusty and dirty and filthy, it doesn't actually matter what they look like, as long as the actual body of the model looks sick. So yeah. Although I did change one out because I found a random orc wheel in one of my bits boxes when I was rooting for bits, and I switched it out. Barely had to paint it. It's already painted. Absolute gem. Okay, before I started riveting this thing, because I did put some rivets on there, I pulled out my soldering iron and I started melting holes and stuff in it, because I figured that was easier than taking a drill out and poking holes and throwing bits to make bullet holes. I could say took some las fire and weathered the whole thing. It goes without saying, during this process I wore a mask, because this is melting plastic and burning plastic, so you have to be careful. Alright, so wear the mask, being melting plastic. Okay, now it's time to sort out the canvas. For the canvas I used extra large tissues, sorry, extra strong tissues that are also extra large, soaked in Mod Podge and water mixed together, like, I don't know, under 50-50, probably like a 70-30 split, maybe. Anyway, just fill a tub with water, pour some Mod Podge in it. If it's all white, sound. Drop some tissue in there and then start layering it on. I did it in small bits. I did try one big piece and put it over, but it just kept tearing. and I decided to fold some thin strips and just layer it on there over and over again, sort of like paper mache. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the end result. You'll see once it's dry. I did have rivet scene filmed, but it's all out of focus. Didn't realise. So cut that out, straight to painting. If you notice in my wet palette that the sheet's brown. Now the reason the sheet's brown is because I worked something out the other day. Baking paper is exactly the same thing as what's already in them when you get them, so you don't have to buy refill sheets. Just cut baking paper to size and put it in there and it works just the same. So if it saves me some money, it doesn't affect the end result, I'm all for it. So if you're ever short on sheets of paper to go inside your wet palettes, just try baking paper. Works just as well. Now that I've told you my tip and cleared the tip of that paint with a spike, let's get going. First thing I did, right, was get myself a nice watery brown, dark watery brown, and coated the whole model in it. She's going to be my base layer. Oh, it's been 10 minutes since I said the thing at the beginning of the video. Do you remember what I said? How orcs just believe stuff and it makes it happen. And I said that people would disagree with me. And that they would both be right and wrong at the same time. Because that's how orcs work. I'm going to explain to you how that works. Right after I turn off the notifications on my phone. I'm not going to go into some wild explanation of orc lore. If you want to deep dive into that stuff, I suggest Prophet of WAAAGH, the DAKKA book. It's a really good read. And that goes into some details about what I'm going to talk about now. Might as well do it while I'm painting, because painting orcs is easy. Anyway, so orc logic, right? It's mental. To an orc, if a story's good, it's true. Even if it didn't happen. But also, it might happen, or have had happen, just because the story exists. So, I'll give you an example, right? So, say this orc says that he killed a titan with nothing but a spoon, right? And that story travels from orc to orc, to orc to orc. And they're like, that's well cool, I'm going to try that. One of them might actually do it. And the story itself becomes true, because not only one person has done it, who may or may not have done it, but someone definitely has done it, and other people have seen him do it. Orcs don't care if something actually happened. If a story's funny, brutal, or makes the orcs look strong, it's true enough. And if enough orcs think it's true, then it is. So if someone says that their orc truck only runs on nuts, bolts and loose bullets, then their orc truck only runs on nuts, bolts and loose bullets. Even if it doesn't. Because they're all latent psychers, reality bends to their belief. Truth is based on entertainment, not evidence. So it's like memes and magic and madness. Orcs. And I'm going to talk about colour as well, because colour's ace. So are orc trucks or just any sort of orc vehicle fast because it's red, or is it red because it's fast? Now it's great because orcs don't care about physics, they care about what feels right. They believe red is a fast colour. Their belief is a real measurable effect. So when an orc paints his truck red, it literally goes faster than it did before. So to them it doesn't even actually matter. So if you asked an orc, are they faster because they're red, or are they red because they're fast, they're just going to say it's the same thing. Because to them, cause and effect doesn't matter. As long as it works, if it's red and it's fast, then whatever. It's the same with a lot of their other colours as well. Like each colour that orcs use has like a special meaning. Like this truck that I'm painting now, I'm going to paint it yellow. And that means it's super explodey. I'm going to put blue bits on it so that it's lucky. I'm going to paint sections black and white because that means it's tough and hard. Because once, a long time ago, Horus ran into a group of orcs and whooped them. And guess what colour his armour was? And also I'm going to paint some red bits on there because I want it to go faster. Now, if any of you think I'm wrong, feel free to say it in the comments. The video's almost over now though. So if you've made it this far, subscribe, throw a like on there, leave a comment, maybe share it. And I'll just leave it to spin. With and without the turret. You enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.